Shalom, family, shalom. Top of the morning to
Your
you.
current skill set is enough to land a role.
Hope y'all doing well. We about to get right into it. I appreciate y'all for being on time. This time I'm the one that's late. I might owe the soldiers at F.O.G some push-ups for that. Get my screen shared. We picking up in Joshua 11 this morning, family. Joshua 11. So if you're gonna be reading along, make sure you get your sword turned to Joshua 11. And we're going to get right to it. Shout out to the brother Tazapaya. Shout out to Judah's son. That brother, Lemuel. That's you, right? I could be tripping. Brother Samuel. It's a little early for me. I just woke up. I don't know how to pronounce this right now, but I'm going to come back to it. Shalom to you. And shalom to wifey in the building. Big Baby Chop, a.k.a. Yapa Rakar, a.k.a. Satomi Pickens. Let's see. All right, so we in Joshua 1. It says, and it came to pass when Jabin, king of... let me change the translation real quick. I don't know why I got to remember this every time I forget. Okay, so we in the ESV reading. It says, when Jabin, king of Hezron, heard of this, he sent Jabab, king of Madon, and the king of Shimron, and the king of Akshba, and the kings who were in the northern hill country, and in Arabah, south of Shinneroth, and in the lowland, and in Naphoth, Dur, on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and the west, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, and the Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites under Hermon in the land of Mizpah. And they came out with all their troops, a great horde in number, like the sand is on the seashore, with very many horses and chariots. And all these kings joined their forces and came and encamped together in the waters of Merom to fight against Israel. The Lord said to Joshua, do not be afraid of them, for tomorrow at this time I will give over all of them, slain to Israel. You shall hamstring their horses and burn their chariots with fire. So Joshua and all his warriors came suddenly against them by the waters of Merom and fell upon them. And the Lord gave them into the hand of Israel, who struck them and chased them as far as the great Sidon and Misrephoth Maim, and eastward as far as the valley of Mizpah. And they struck them until he left none remaining. And Joshua did to them just as the Lord said to him. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots with fire. And Joshua turned back at that time and captured Hazor and struck its king with the sword. For Hazor formerly was the head of all those kingdoms. And they struck with the sword all who were in it, devoting them to destruction. There was none left that breathed, and he burned Hazor with fire. And all the cities of those kings and all their kings Joshua captured and struck them with the edge of the sword, devoting them to destruction, just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. But none of these cities that stood on mounds did Israel burn, except Hazor alone, that Joshua burned. And all the spoil of these cities and the livestock the people of Israel took for their plunder. But every person they struck with the edge of the sword, until they had destroyed them, and they did not leave any who breathed. Just as Joshua had commanded Moses, his servant, so Moses commanded Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all the Lord had commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hill country, and all Negeb, and all the land of Goshen, and the lowland, and the Arabah, and the hill country of Israel as its lowland. From Mount Halak, which rises towards Seir, as far as Baal Gad, in the valley of Lebanon below Mount Hermon, he had captured all their kings and struck them and put them to death. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. Then was not a city that made peace with the people of Israel except the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. They took them all in battle. For it was the Lord's doing to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, in order that they should be devoted to destruction, and should receive no mercy, but be destroyed, just as the Lord commanded Moses. And Joshua came at that time and cut off Anakim from the hill country, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the hill country of Judah, and from all the hill country of Israel. Joshua devoted them to destruction with their cities. There was none of the Anakim left in the land of the people of Israel. Only in Gaza and Gath and Ashdod did some remain. So Joshua took the whole land, according to all that the Lord had spoken to Moses, and Joshua gave it for an inheritance to Israel, according to their tribal allotments, and the land had a rest from war. Chapter 12. Now these are the kings of the land, whom the people of Israel defeated, and took possession of their land beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise, from the valley of Arnon to Mount Hermon, with all the Arabah eastwards. Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon, and ruled over Eror, which is on the edge of the valley of Arnon, and from the middle of the valley as far as the river Jabbok, the boundary of the Ammonites, that is half Gilead. In the Arabah to the sea of Shinneroth eastwards, and in the direction of Bethel Jeshimoth to the sea of Arabah, the salt sea, towards the foot of the slopes of Pisgah, and Og, the king of Bashan, one of the remnant of the Raphaim, who lived at Ashtaroth, at Idrei, and ruled over Mount Hermon, and Selekah, and all Bashan to the boundary of the Jeshurites, and the Maccathites, and over half of Gilead to the boundary of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Joshua, the servant of the Lord, and all the people of Israel defeated them, and Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave their land for a possession to the Reubenites, and the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the land, whom Joshua and the people of Israel defeated on the west side of Jordan, from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon to Mount Halak, that raises towards Seir, and Joshua gave their land to the tribes of Israel as a possession, according to their allotments, in the hill country and the lowland, in Arabah, in the slopes, in the wilderness, and in the Negeb, the land of the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, the king of Jericho, 1, the king of Ai, which is besides Bethel, 1, the king of Jerusalem, 1, the king of Hebron, 1, the king of Jarmuth, 1, the king of Lachish, 1, the king of Eglon, 1, the king of Gezer, 1, the king of Debri, 1, the king of Gedar, 1, the king of Hormah, 1, the king of Arad, 1, the king of Libnah, 1, the king of Adullam, 1, the king of Makkedah, 1, the king of Bethel, 1, the king of Tepuah, 1, the king of Hepher, 1, the king of Ephek, 1, the king of Lasharon, 1, the king of Madon, 1, the king of Hazor, 1, the king of Shimeron, 1, the king of Ashpha, 1, the king of Taanach, 1, the king of Megiddo, 1, the king of Kadesh, 1, the king of Jochanim in Carmel, 1, the king of Dor in Nephath Dor, 1, the king of Goim in Galilee, 1, the king of Tisra, 1, in all 31 kings. So let's just take a minute to emphasize how we just read through 2 chapters very smooth. There was no need for any explanation. I want that to speak volumes to how Things aren't complicated when you obey the Most High. There's complications that need to be navigated and explained once you start to go outside of what the Most High said. We saw several hangups, starting with Israel having to go the long way into the land to begin to conquer it. We saw complications like them not being able to win against the men of Ai because someone wanted to take something in the camp they weren't supposed to take. But now we just read through 2 chapters smooth with nothing but victory. Let's continue in chapter 13. Now Joshua was old and advanced in years, and the Lord said to him, "You are old and advanced in years, and there remains yet very much land to possess. This is the land that yet remains, all the regions of the Philistines, and all of those of the Girgashites. From the Shihor, which is east of Egypt, northward of the boundary of Ekron, it is counted as Canaanite. There are 5 rulers of the Philistines, those of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron, and those of Avim. In the south, all the land of the Canaanites, in Meirah, that belonged to the Zidonians, and Ephek, to the boundary of the Amorites, and the land of the Gibeonites, and all Lebanon towards the north, toward the sunrise, from Baal Gad below Mount Hermon to the Lebo Hamath. All the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth Maim, all the Zidonians. I myself will drive them out from before the people of Israel. Only allot the land to Israel for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now, therefore, divide this land for an inheritance to thy tribes, and the half tribe Manasseh. With the other half tribe of Manasseh, the Reubenites, the Gadites, received their inheritance, which Moses gave them beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moses the servant of the Lord gave them. From Aror, which is on the edge of the valley of Arnon, in the city that is in the middle of the valley, and all the tableland of Medeba, as far as Dibon, and all the cities of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, as far as the boundary of the Ammonites, and Gilead, and the region of the Geshurites, and the Maccathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan to Selecha. All the kingdom of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and in Edrei. He alone was left of the remnant of the Rephaim. These Moses had struck and driven out. Yet the people of Israel did not drive out the Geshurites or the Maccathites, but Jeshur and Machath dwell in the midst of Israel to this day. To the tribe of Levi alone, Moses gave no inheritance. The offerings by fire to the Lord God of Israel are their inheritance, as he said to them. And Moses gave inheritance to the tribe of the people of Reuben according to their clans. So their territory was from Aror, which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, and the city that is in the middle of the valley, and all the tableland by Medeba, with Heshbon and all its cities that are in the tableland, Dibon, and Bamoth Baal, and Beth Baal Meon, and Jahaz, and Kedemoth, and Mephath, and Kirithium, and Sibma, and Zereth Shahar on the hill of the valley, and Beth Peor, and the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimoth. That is all the cities of the tableland, and all the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses defeated with their leaders of Midian. Evi, and Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba, and the princes of Sihon, who lived in the land. Balaam, also son of Beor, and one who practiced divination, was killed by the sword by the people of Israel among the rest of their slain. And the border of the people of Reuben was the Jordan as a and the border of the people of Reuben was the Jordan as a boundary. This was the inheritance of the people of Reuben according to their clans, with their cities and villages. Moses gave an inheritance also to the tribe of Gad, to the people of Gad, according to their clans. Their territory was Jazer, and all the cities of Gilead, and half of the land of the Amorites to Eror, which is east of Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramoth Mizpah, and Betanim, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Debir, and in the valley of Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Zephon, the rest of the kingdoms of Sihon, king of Heshbon, having the Jordan as a boundary to the lower edge of the sea of Chinneroth, eastward beyond the Jordan. This is the inheritance of the people of Gad, according to their clans, with their cities and villages. And Moses gave an inheritance to the half-tribe of Manasseh. It was allotted to the half-tribe of the people of Manasseh according to their clans. Their region extended from Mahanaim through all Bashan, and the whole kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and all their towns of Jer, which are in Bashan, 60 cities. And the half Gilead, and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, the cities of the kingdom of Og and Bashan, these were allotted to the people of Machir, the sons of Manasseh, for the half of the people of Machir according to their clans. These are the inheritances that Moses distributed in the plains of Moab, beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses gave no inheritance. The Lord God of Israel is their inheritance, just as he said to them. So we're going to wrap it up. We had a good read through, I believe. Hold on. How did we just do that? My bad, y'all. So, yeah, we're going to wrap up there, and we're going to pick up next week at chapter 14. And we're going to just keep reading about how the tribe's land was divided up amongst them and evenly distributed, because I think it's important to see how we're able just to get right to business when we obey the Most High. We could have had those lands divided up and we could have been settling them long ago according to the narrative, but the Most High hardened our hearts. There's a lot of scary things on the horizon. We got World War III popping off officially. Iran shooting at Israel, America and Israel shooting at Iran shooting at everybody else. So things are kicking off the way the Most High said they would. What we can't escape is that there are those whose hearts are going to be hardened, and we're going to see a lot of falling off. But we're also going to see a lot of dividing up of the land, and it being redistributed towards the children of Israel after the sword falls on this place. So let's leave with that on a good note. Let's look forward to seeing the dividing up of the land and the returning of the inheritance of the land given to our forefathers being given back to us, its people, whether it's on the right side of the nukes or the other, right? Whether it's on the right side of salvation or the other. Y'all definitely go ahead and meditate on that. I may tap in, do a live stream pre-Passover for those of you that are celebrating the Passover tonight. Please make all the proper preparations. Remember to have your lamb cooked and eaten once sundown hits, in haste, with your shoes on your feet, with your staff in your hand. If you got a staff, it's not a meal to sit down talking, at least when you deal with the ceremonial lamb. So make sure you do that properly, show it proper respect. Make sure you got your wine. Make sure you got your unleavened bread. All right. Other than that, those of you who are having an ordinary weekend, I pray your weekend is blessed. And with that, we're going to give all praises to the Most High. Shalom.